Alright, if you watched any of my other Watcher content, then you know that personally, this is just me, I am more fond of the Buzzfeed Unsolved variations of some of the shows that are on Watcher compared to the ones on Watcher. For example, personally speaking, I prefer Buzzfeed Unsolved, Supernatural, and True Crime to Watcher's rendition, which is the Mystery Files and Ghost Files. Now, to me, it's just that when Shane and Ryan were on Buzzfeed, there was a certain charm to their content. You know, the back and forth banter, Ryan's just spooked reaction to everything, Shane's kind of laid back, it's just a win. His quips and whatnot. And of course, the classic black screen with the blue and yellow text. I don't know if it's a copyright thing or what. Why did they get rid of that? I feel like, hey, if there's anybody that's in the Patreon, or maybe you've watched every single, post-mortem Q&A. I don't know what the Watcher equivalent to that would be. I don't even know if they do those breakdowns. I forgot. But basically, if they do any behind the scenes videos or whatever, or maybe on one of their podcasts they talked about it, but could they just, I need to know why they got rid of that. I don't know why, but that definitely, it is missed, in my opinion. It is missed from these episodes. But I think that Supernatural or Buzzfeed Unsolved, it just has that charm that Ghost Files doesn't. Now, when I think about the Goodbye YouTube video they did a couple weeks ago, and I look at their goals with Watcher in general, when looking at the making of Watcher, and I think they even did like another video in the same way, which was like a mini documentary, which was kind of like them just checking in, like, hey, thanks for supporting Watcher so far, and here's kind of an update of where we're at right now. Looking at Ghost Files, because what I did before recording this video, I went like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I watched a random episode of Ghost Files. And then I watched, I know this seems unfair, but I did watch 2 episodes of Unsolved Supernatural, The Hunt for Bigfoot, which I don't count in this comparison because that's not a ghost hunt. Dang it, what was it called? It was a hotel. What hotel was it? The Orleans Hotel? Was that the one I watched? Yeah. No. Sorry, it was the Subterranean Terrors of the London Tombs, which was the season 3 finale. And what I did was I just compared, 3 different elements of these episodes. The location, the banter, and the quote-unquote proof. Like, was Ryan any closer to proving ghosts are real in the episode? Well, technically, there was a 4th element too, the quality. Now, when I look at Ghost Files, it is pretty to look at. You could definitely tell there was a budget, a lot in terms of budget when it comes to the making of this show. I mean, Ryan broke it down in the Goodbye YouTube video. When it comes down to a season of Ghost Files, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars from the traveling, the paying the location fees and the camera crew, and then the post-production and all that good stuff. And it shows. Like, I feel like they are on their way to their goal of, television quality content. But I never had an issue with the BuzzFeed stuff, because I thought, to me, that was good as it was. Because what really made me watch Unsolved Supernatural, which I've said it many times in my other videos, I prefer true crimes to Supernatural. But I think it has to do with the fact that towards the end of Supernatural, like the last couple seasons, you could kind of tell Ryan wasn't in the same, his energy just wasn't what it was. He kind of just felt like he's on the journey, just like Shane. It's like, hey, we're going to this location to check it out, the spirit box and all that good stuff. Like in the first few seasons, Ryan was just spooked by everything, and it was just funny because he was like just scared of everything, while Shane is like, come on, man, it was nothing. So seeing their back, and then of course You cannot start an episode of Supernatural with like, yeah, in this series is to prove whether or not ghosts are real, and then you pan over to Shane and he would like nod his head no. So it got to the point where Ryan was like all respectful and it's like, no, don't taunt the goat man. It's like, don't taunt the spirits of this hotel. And then it just got to the point where Ryan just felt like he didn't even want to be there, and it's just like, oh man. So I compared Unsolved, Supernatural, to the ghost shows on like the History Channel or the Travel Channel. And those shows, it's like you could tell they were doing stuff for ratings. Like, I remember on the weekends, after Saturday morning cartoons went off, my sister and I would watch, I think it was Travel Channel. They would do these ghost hunting shows, and it's like you would wait for something to happen, but then you realize it's like, oh wow, it's nothing. They're just hyping up nothing. And the shows didn't have something that it didn't have that it factor that made me want to keep watching. So back in the day before we truly had the cable we do now or internet television, I'm talking like late 90s, early 2000s people, that's all we had to watch. It's like you watch that or just pop in a VHS and watch something else. But what drew me to Buzzfeed Unsolved was the freaking banter. Ryan and Shane, I didn't care they found a ghost. I just loved hearing these two going back and forth. You got Ryan, who was, he has holy water. He has, a Batman utility belt of different things to help him in case he comes across any sort of ectoplasmic, super being. Whereas Shane, who's like, well, I wish I could just go back to the hotel and take a nap. We've been out here all night. We haven't heard anything. And, I've been taunting the ghost and nobody's lifted me up or knocked me down a flight of stairs. So I don't care. So, those elements I was talking about before, like the location and the banter and the proof, it's like there was rarely, if ever, any proof of any sort of ghost. I think there was that one episode where, they were like, if you're here with us, turn on this light. And they did, and it freaked Ryan out so much, but it was hilarious. And then when you look at the locations, it's like, yeah, they definitely kind of match up in terms of picking places that are definitely spooky. But I think the banter and the charm of Unsolved Supernatural is what sets it apart from Ghost Files. Like I said, I could see Ghost Files being picked up by a television network like Travel Channel's like, hey, so the ghost shows we used to have on here, they really aren't doing it for us. But we see that you have a huge following and your shows are definitely quality made. So how about we buy one of your seasons of Ghost Files for our network? I could see that happening. But I could also see it happening with Unsolved, because I just feel like in terms of the enjoyment fact, now you could argue, oh, well, it's just a nostalgia talking. It's only been like, a few years. Because even though Supernatural technically started in 2016, I didn't start watching these episodes until like late 2017, early 2018, and I followed it since. So there's also not the recency bias. I know some people that will probably say, oh, I like Ghost Files more than Unsolved. Okay, that's fair. But that's just, I'm not one of those people. So I feel like even though Ghost Files definitely has the money behind it, if you will, I don't think that... I was going to do a separate video on this, and maybe I will, depending on how many people want to see it. But I think that given the fact when Shane and Ryan were working for BuzzFeed was the one footing the bill, making all the, tough decisions and things like that. And Shane and Ryan were just there to entertain. They were there to do they were there to do what they do best. But then when you started Watcher, it's like doing what they do best kind of gets crushed underneath the pressure of succeeding, because no longer do they have another company footing the bill. They have to make all these things like, okay, so where are we going to go for this ghost hunting? Because I think they even ask fans for ideas like, hey, are there any locations you would recommend for us to go check out next? So they need to make the decisions, book the flights, do this, that, and the third, pay for this, pay for that. So I think that in some of the episodes, you can tell it's kind of draining on them, where they're out there having a good time, but I feel like they get that. I feel like, okay, even though I don't really rock with Ghost Files like that, based off what I've seen from their, didn't they do kind of like a mini series where they like try out foods in different states because they went on like a Ghost Files live tour? The snippets from the live tour, I feel like, yeah, that's the Shane and Ryan from Buzzfeed that I love watching. It's like most of the time that energy on the stage matches their banter from Unsolved. But when they're doing Ghost Files, I don't feel like it has that same kind of charm, the banter, and the, just the wholesome relatability of the one person, who believes in the supernatural, and then the other one who's, just they don't believe in it. It's like, this is ridiculous, but I'm going to entertain you anyway. So, like I said, Ghost Files has its appeal, but personally, give me Unsolved any day of the week. So, with that being said, what do you think about Ghost Files or Supernatural? Which one do you prefer? Do you wish they would kind of take some of the elements of Unsolved and put it into Ghost Files, like the classic black screen with the text on the screen? Or do you think that Ryan needs to act more spooked? Who knows? So, with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.